What's up? What's up? What's up, listeners?
Yes,
Welcome back
what's
to the
up?
Jaftaf show. And we are the Jaftaf. And today is the seventh episode of the Jaftaf show. And coincidentally, we are talking about the movie called Seven. We
Yes.
never actually planned it, but it happened. So yeah,
So
it's not
before
half bad.
before recording this episode, suddenly this clicked to my mind that oh yes, seventh episode, we're gonna talk about seven movie. So it just
Yeah,
happened like
so I guess this is our seventh deadly sin.
yes, the seventh one.
Yeah. Well, it is not technically right, but it's fine. Let's take it that way only. So
Yes.
yeah, today we are talking about the movie called Seven, which was directed by David Fincher in 1995. This movie came along, and, and the awesome cast, the awesome direction, the heartbreaking and thrilling story.
Yes.
Yeah, this movie is going to be a scary ride, actually. It took me actually 3 days to watch this movie because I was just watching this movie and then I was like, yeah, I'm done for today. Let's watch it tomorrow. And
Yeah.
then that's how I was done.
Even I remember like the first time when I watched this movie, I watched it for 20-25 minutes. Then I was like, I can't take it because uh, the thing is, when I was watching this movie, I was like deadly tired and I couldn't open my eyes. I was like, I need to watch it because I need to talk about this episode. But somehow managed to watch it yesterday, like one day before this recording. And yeah, I need some time to process, but I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
like, but still episodes are to be made, so we didn't have time enough. So it's like, yeah, maybe few of opinions what I make in this episode in further minutes might change in future because it's like few hours after the episode, after watching the movie, we record this episode, so it's processing. So yeah,
Okay. All right. So I would go from the beginning. So you remember how the movie starts, the casting crew name comes and all, but
yeah,
but that's not how the movie actually starts.
yeah,
The movie starts in a different way. The that particular sequence is not the origin part of the original movie. So I saw that sequence, what actually happened before starting that whole cast and crew titles. So actually, in the beginning of the movie, Lieutenant William Morgan Freeman, he
yes,
was
yes.
yeah he was actually looking. He was in a house and he
Yeah.
was he was just taking he was just looking around and just checking whether he's gonna buy that house or not because
Mm-hmm.
he was about to retire, right?
Yeah.
So that is the part they didn't mention. And when the movie started, how the titles were coming, I was like, this is very creepy way of actually putting
Yeah.
it forward.
I actually like the music what they used in the titles.
Yeah, it is going with the
Yeah, yeah,
title, but it was a very creepy way to putting it on. And obviously, I was understanding that whatever the heroes that are coming, it is related to the
mm-hmm.
main antagonist. That is what
Mm-hmm.
I have understood because obviously, I before watching this movie, I
Yeah,
did some research about it,
yeah,
and and this was the second time I watched this movie, and this time I was able to understand so many things that I was not before. And
mm-hmm.
there were, I saw how the making was and how the cast was telling about like how what kind of characters they were able to create inside of them. And then they were explaining what kind of person, just like Morgan Freeman was explaining what kind of person Lieutenant William is. And Brad Pitt was explaining what kind of detective Mills
Mm-hmm.
David Mills is. And yeah, Brad Pitt, the kind of personality we have seen so far of Brad
Yeah,
Pitt
yeah,
was not like that, where he is like hitting the rock bottom in a way that he cannot come over it. And in this movie, when you saw Brad Pitt in that way, you are like, shit.
Yeah.
First, what happened? And second, if this happened, why this happened? I'll tell you one amazing thing. So when this script came to David Fincher in 1994, I guess,
Hmm.
so he read it and then he called his agent and he was like, "What's up with the ending what's up with this ending with the box?" So his agent said to him, "Oh, sorry, my bad. I guess I have sent you the wrong draft." So
Oh,
he
okay,
was like,
okay.
"What do you mean by that?" So he's like, "There are 11 drafts, so I just
Yeah,
shared
yeah,
you
yeah.
the first one. I just shared you the first one," and and
They,
he was
they,
like,
I guess they had alternative endings, right? But they
"Yeah,
never put it.
yeah." David Fincher liked the first one only, and then he went forward with it.
I
So
wish what they had in the 11 drafts.
there could have been many possibilities, right? And let's we gonna go there, obviously.
Yeah.
And yeah, when I saw Morgan Freeman for the very first time in this movie, I was observing him
Hmm.
because I've seen his Shawshank Redemption, and I've seen him in other movies as well, and he is very calm person in other movies, and uh, but in this, the kind of environment he was surrounded with is just what I felt is this the situation that was established in this movie. Uh, these the characters, both of detectives, were not ready for it,
Yeah.
or the reason not ready in a way that even cast was able to deliver this that message very perfectly because when you see these two characters very first time and you feel like yeah, Mills is like a strong bold guy, right?
Hmm.
And Lieutenant William is like very sharp person, but when even after working both on the same case, they were not even able to stop the antagonist even for once. He
Yeah.
himself came to them, and
Yeah.
that ending was very tragic, actually.
Yeah. So, okay. So for a moment, let's forget about the movie. Let's come to the part about Morgan Freeman. Man, he has some crazy deep voice. He can make anyone like he could say anyone just to sit down. He'll be like, oh yes, I'm sitting down. Yes. You remember that UK trailers who has voiceovers in the back? They explain. So he has that deep voice, and I don't know. Always he impresses me his voice, and yeah. So I think this is the first time I'm watching Morgan Freeman movie where he's acting. Before that,
I
I
guess, have you watched Batman?
yeah,
Batman,
yeah.
in
Which part?
the second one, Joker one, The Dark Knight. He was there.
Okay, okay,
He was there
okay.
taking care of all his technical stuff. You have watched it, right?
The
Batman.
thing is, I watched it long back, so I don't think I remember now. So yeah, and one more thing, like uh, for me, Morgan Freeman was never an actor centric guy. For me, always Morgan Freeman was like the guy who used to voiceover in Metro Boomin's albums. So, so like
He
yeah,
did.
yeah, heroes and villains. The intro part, uh, he was basically the main guy to introduce Metro Boomin, and he collaborated with 21 Savage. So I know Morgan Freeman from that point of view. So yeah, so always when I used to listen to those albums, I used to like, oh shit, this intro is fire. Like so now seeing him as as an acting point of view, it was very different. But yeah, like he's a hell of a calm guy, and and the perception what I have of Brad Pitt is always like very charming and very uh, cool and heroic personality. But here he had some traumas, but still my mind was not. ready to see him in that way, but because obviously there has been record where I've seen Brad Pitt flaunting his acting skills, uh, doing something very great, very heroic personality. Here, he had to play opposite to his role, which is sad, dramatic. So it took me some time to adjust that how will Brad Pitt fit in this. But yeah, like obviously with great looks, great comes great acting. So yeah, we could say Brad Pitt is like one of that guy who has good looks, good personality, and good actor as well. And in a way, Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt, they go side by side, hand in hand. And yeah, I didn't expect this movie would go very, it would turn this dark. But yeah, it was fun. Like,
Yeah, actually, I was, you know, Kevin Spacey. Shit. You
oh,
know,
okay, 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 okay. Okay, okay, so before watching this movie, I had no idea what Seven is, who is the cast, who is actors. I just blindly, I just started watching Seven because I didn't want to spoil the fun. So I just pressed the play. Thing was starting, and suddenly I see Kevin. Yo, bro, you okay? He's that guy who was in American Beauty.
that is that
I'm
is that is
like,
where I'm going actually. You know, you remember in American Beauty episode, I told you like there were three personality
yeah,
originated from the same thing. Tyler Durden, Birdman, uh, Lester,
huh,
right? And this time it was John,
yeah.
played by Kevin Spacey
I'll
only.
be honest, okay. Like after watching American Beauty, uh, in this whole movie of while watching Seven, I couldn't take Kevin Spacey serious because the personality, the ideology, what he presented in American Beauty, for me that was his first impression. Like I saw a movie of him for the first time, so for me first thing was impression that okay, he is the actor who is like this, but I never saw his acting other than that. So for me, like getting adjusted to that, to this dark movie kind of didn't really click, but at the end, like at the end, slowly I was getting used to it, but movie ended. So yeah.
Well, I was just thinking that he is the one more version of those guys
Hmm.
who has the worst idea of implementing his work.
Hmm.
And that's what he did, committed seven deadly sins.
Yeah, yeah.
And and yeah, beats how he expressed the last sin,
The the
envy.
the
Yeah,
yeah
it's
the no, not envy. Wrath.
no, no, no,
Technically, Wrath is the last sin of the movie.
no, he has already performed.
No, no.
Yeah, Wrath was performed.
Uh,
Lust
Wrath was
was performed.
performed by what do you say? David kills John, right? That's Wrath.
That's Wrath.
Yeah.
Okay, that's Wrath. But yeah, what I was telling,
That's envy, according
the
to John's point of view.
what John did
Yeah.
was last one was envy only.
Yeah, yeah.
What John did, and Wrath was performed by Brad
David.
Mills. Yeah. So and envy, yeah, actually, every single sin that he committed has the feeling to it,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, it's just person to every single time it was changed who was feeling it,
Hmm.
right? You know, at the time of lust, when he performed the lust sin,
Yeah.
according what I felt, that was the worst way he killed somebody actually.
Yeah.
The last thing, and you know, when they showed that picture, I just paused it there. I was like, what the hell is that? Like if somebody
It
asks
it
somebody,
it gave me a slight pain.
no, why would it give you a slight pain? It's not like somebody is doing anything with you. It's just when, the guy who actually made it, when these guys went to the shop, if you tell me if somebody is asking you to make something like this, why would you do that? Like you're gonna ask the questions, right? Like, are you going to wear it and then gonna fuck? How
But imagine like if a person who is paying you more money, obviously you won't ask questions like why
that
because.
is that is a different thing. Like you are running a legitimate business,
Hmm,
right?
hmm, hmm.
At that particular time, you have to think that way. But
Yeah,
obviously, you are selling sex toys. What can you expect from the owner?
yeah,
So, so yeah, that was the thing. And he was saying, people have asked me more fucked up things than that. I was like, what can be more fucked up thing than this? Like putting
you
fire
uh
in front of it,
I, I,
right?
I think you have no idea about what fucked up things people ask. Just join Reddit. You'll get to know what actually how people think and what questions are they ask to people. So,
Well, I don't want to know actually. It's not worth using because if I'm putting myself into it, I guess I'm
yeah,
no longer what I am right
because
now. So,
because sometimes when I go through Reddit, I see some really horrifying statements on other people and very graphic images, very bold statements, which if those are publicly available on other platforms, I bet their account would have been suspended for forever because that's not how they should be presented.
but what they are saying and what they are, things happen on other social media handles also.
Hmm.
It's just people are trying to be something they are not, and because
Hmm.
they cannot be that, so they are putting it on social media,
Hmm.
implementing it in the real life. Like want some balls, you
Yeah.
have to have some balls actually to
Even
implementing it.
even
Whatever they say, it
yeah.
doesn't matter.
Even X has no policy where it has some policy where you can post i- adult content. Like recently, I just read it out. So it's very dark. Before X was monitored, but when the owner changed, I don't know now what's going on. So
So
slowly X is getting the form of Reddit, but Reddit is something else.
it's just whatever people are putting on social media and actually implementing it in real life has
Hmm.
are two different things.
Yeah, yeah.
So people can say anything, can do anything on social media, right? That's
Hmm.
what they do. That
Yes.
has been happening. But going to a place, telling somebody that I want this,
Yes, yes,
right?
yes.
And actually implementing something out of it is totally different.
Hmm.
People have to have so many ideas. I get some ideas when I'm angry on somebody, but it doesn't mean that I'm actually going to do it, right?
Hmm.
So, and that is what this movie actually talked about. They actually pushed everything to some extent. You know what? When I was finishing this movie, what I was thinking, when those guys actually went to those grasslands and coming out of the car. So at that
Hmm.
particular time, I was thinking that every sin
Hmm.
requires to have one episode
Yeah.
where
Like
at the end of it,
actually
they are
it would be
losing
amazing actually.
both the detectives. What is the motivation of both the detectives to
Hmm.
stop John from actually implementing the idea
Hmm.
has in his mind, right? But at the end of every episode, he doesn't, right?
Hmm.
So, and at the end of the episode, at the end of the season of the seventh episode, detective himself completes the cycle of seven deadly sin,
Hmm.
right? So that way, uh, that way people will understand what actually writer would have read in Seven Deadly Sins book, because
Hmm.
it requires much more depth. It
Yeah,
should not
yeah.
end very quick.
Hmm.
There should have And episodes should not get limited to seven only, because there should one episode where they are just telling about the person,
Mm-hmm.
what he thinks before killing,
Mm-hmm.
where
Yeah,
he
yeah, yeah.
lives, right? How he's trying to implement his ideas, what kind of ideas are being generated, and what is making him motivated to do it. How, what question just came in my mind when Brad Pitt was looking back in the car and keep on asking, when they are going to the last place where they have found the
Mm-hmm.
box, right? So I was thinking at that particular time, Brad should have asked him, like, on what basis are you deciding that these are the people who committed the sins? There are many people out there who would have committed the same kind of sin, but on a very much more extreme level,
Mm-hmm.
right? There should not have any boundary if God is making you do it, if that is what you say, right? There
Mm-hmm.
should not have any boundary. So that kind of answers would have came out if there are episodes, right?
Mm-hmm.
If there are episodes, people just go deep and just there can be so many threads that can be linked, and what kind of person Tracy is, why she is so, how.
One more thing. Tracy had so much potential in this whole movie, but I have no idea like what the creative pers perspective was while shooting this movie. They used Tracy as a tool, but not as a whole thing. She just came in the movie for a few moments and she just went. Uh, I know that the ending is very heartbreaking and devastated because it's a personal loss of the antagonist of the movie. But in my opinion, it might be unpopular opinion, but the ending would have a lot more weight to it if they would have introduced Raisy's character more,
Yeah,
or
exactly,
yeah,
exactly. We don't feel that much
yeah,
empathy,
yeah,
sympathy towards Mills, and we just see, okay, like
yeah.
he went psycho. John went psycho and he killed
Yeah,
her,
I
but
I
that connection was not
I
there.
I think only to establish Tracy's character, to so that audience connect to Tracy is, they just presented as she's pregnant and she's not willing to have a kid. So I think that is the most classic way to establish sympathy in audience mind. But 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 now in 2024, when we're watching this movie and talking about it, that's not the only way, or that's not the only thing to establishing sympathy and establishing uh, what do you say, like to show how great the character is. So yeah, I think back then that would have worked, but now you look at like fast forward to many years now, uh, I think Tracy is wasted. Like she had potential, but uh, the movie makers, they didn't use it properly. Yeah.
So yeah, the point is this: the implementation of the movie is very great. I understand. It's
Mm-hmm.
just the story requires much more time
Yeah, yeah.
to audience to
You.
uh, yeah.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that why story requires much more time,
Mm-hmm.
because every character has to have a motivation. You remember Mills in the beginning of the movie telling Lieutenant William that I have 5 years of experience
Mm-hmm.
in as a cop, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have came as your replacement here, so don't
Mm-hmm.
underestimate me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of w- like he had guts, obviously, going after a person who is continuously shooting at him. That shows like he got balls. He's
Mm-hmm.
just establishing it in a much more way to telling people, okay, what kind of cop he was, right? What kind of how he met Tracy, what made him to make her love so much, right?
Mm-hmm.
And why Tracy is not telling Mills that she is pregnant,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
There was so much information that was given at the end that Tracy died, she was pregnant to Mills, but I was not able to absorb it.
Hmm.
Maybe it doesn't mean that I'm
Same,
heartless.
same, same. Like,
It's just,
yeah.
it's just obviously Tracy didn't have the story part of it. Imagine having just one episode and the episode is starting from Tracy calling William that can we meet tomorrow to have a
Hmm.
coffee, and from there how Tracy is thinking, why she is thinking that way, and she is thinking towards the past, like she is
Hmm.
committed to Mills and what kind of
Yeah.
uh, past they had, right? So these kind of things establishing and why it is very important to tell William that,
Yes, yes. No,
right?
totally agree with your points. Uh, no doubt, David Fincher made this masterpiece, and I know this movie will be remembered for a long time. But that's what, like, I mean, I feel all the characters had potential. They should have had more screen time or more backstory or more depth so that we could connect to it. Morgan Freeman's character, William, he had like past experiences. We could have had like a small 10 minutes or 15 minutes of backstory where we they show how Morgan Freeman was in his during his prime, what things he was dealing with, and what were the type of cases he was going through.
Who was
Uh,
his partner, right?
yeah, who was
He
his
said that
partner?
he came
His
close to getting
kids.
married.
Yeah, I mean, like, what happened to his partner? Like, why is like, what do you say? Marriage didn't happen properly. So when you establish these things, like, you get connected to it. Obviously, I agree that point where uh, movie is not enough for this because they should have made this in a web series form. You remember when we were discussing about the True Detective season one?
Yeah,
True Detective season one works because we had like a lot of things to dissect, and it had like 7 hours of runtime. So during the 7 hours, we could see a lot of things every character was going through. So now back then, already, like, we have seen True Detective long back. Fast forward to now, few months happened. Now we just look back to the things. Now we remember the details what the both characters are going through. But if we fast forward to like 1 month or like 2 3 weeks, we might miss out on so many things in this movie because it felt very fast paced, and the
exactly.
connection during characters and the cases, and all the seven deadly sins of one case after other case after other case. It felt like a cutscene of a game. Like, one mission done, second mission started. It didn't feel like a story, proper story based. uh, I don't know, like, that's what I felt.
So yeah, as a movie expressing how it was expressed, it was best,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Couldn't argue about that, couldn't question over it.
Hmm.
So, but the point is like to dissect something deep idea which is they you remember when Mills and William both were in the office and suddenly Mills just mentioned that he is just a psycho with a library card. So
Hmm.
then William looked at him and those guys both went to the library and then he just told him that there are certain books that are marked by FBI
Hmm.
like nuclear, Mein Kampf. You know what
Yes,
Mein
yes,
Kampf
yes.
is, right? And it was very interesting because I understood that idea that these kind of books actually change your ideology towards word,
Hmm.
right? Right? That the kind of book Seven Deadly Sins was, and other books as well, right? These kind of books are actually making you realize the perspectives that should not be taken granted of, or even should not bring forward. Just for the reading perspective, it's fine, and it was a very interesting fact. Whether it is true or not, I don't know. But
Hmm.
if it is true, it is pretty much interesting. And even David Fincher, the movie makers actually took help from the real cops as
Hmm.
well, especially the SWAT. I don't know, but they have taken the help of real cops, and
Mm-hmm.
Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. They actually did spend time with detectives, and Brad Pitt himself mentioned that I got to see the hairy part of the detective's life where the
Mm-hmm.
limelight is not coming, right? And then you understand, and then I got to do this,
Yeah, yeah.
and yeah, he actually, I'm telling you, now, it's just what I felt like these characters were powerful, but what I felt like still I felt like there was no power
They had
in
potential, but potential wasn't given to them. Like,
wasn't coming out,
yeah, wasn't
coming
coming
out.
out.
Like in True Detective season one, that our episode. So these guys thought that they have solved the case in 1995, right?
Mm-hmm.
1995, they thought
Somewhere,
they
yeah,
solved the
somewhere
case,
around it.
right? So, but after 7 years, they realized that the guy is still out there, and after 19 years, they were able to solve the case,
Yes, yes.
right? In this movie, they were not even able to stop the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Was it never happened. So that kind of thing leading a story towards it, because it was total dark shit. So similarly, that was happening in True Detective. The guy
Mm-hmm.
was just living in his thoughts of ideas that should not exist. And yeah, in that manner, you could give you could introduce multiple characters.
Mm-hmm.
Episode is starting with that fat guy who died on Monday,
Mm-hmm.
putting his face in spaghetti,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you can start the episode with that, like how this guy was a month back. And
Mm-hmm.
the guy who was lying on his bed for the past 1 year, who died,
Would
right?
drug overdose.
Yeah. So how he was and a half 1.5 year back,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Starting the story that way, and then how they and John encountered them,
Mm-hmm.
right? It could have been a perspective to it. And then I'm telling you that the question is, what made him decide that these guys actually deserve these 7 cents? There are so many people out there,
Yeah.
right?
You know what, this the same question even I have. Like, why did the killer choose these people? Like, what connection did he have? What past did he go through with them? Uh, like, uh, just because you want to fulfill the seven deadly sins, you choose any random person, or did you really have something between them, or was it like part of story, or like, you know what? We come to the same question. Like, uh, we could have had like a big screen time, or somewhere the screen time was divided into bits, like making web series out of that.
When you are talking about being a detective,
Yes.
I used to think that detective is a person who is investigating,
Who,
right?
who, who, who
Who
wears that
investigates a
cap?
case, and he has a gun, who is
Who,
always
who wears
there to support,
jackets?
right? And shady personality. But
Yeah.
now I understand. William explained on Wednesday at night when they were both lying on the sofa that our work is to collect the pieces
Hmm.
and make a draft pile of files so that people can have a record when this thing goes in a court. That
Okay.
is what our work
Hmm.
is. Just taking care of all the information, connecting it to the. This is what a detective does. They always ask you the question like, did the guy had any past grudges with anybody?
Hmm.
This has a relation. So detective's game is always based on the past story of the person, of the victim, of the culprit, right? And that is what we were missing in this movie,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? In the story, I mean, not in the story, right? And that is when you are a detective, it takes time,
Hmm.
and an audience should feel that time.
Yes, yes,
You can divide every single day in one episode so that
yes.
people can actually feel what how these detectives are going through, what they're passing by, that making them so motivated about the story, motivated about solving this case. That is what Mills kept on talking about,
Yeah.
right? He told William that. he said a very, very great thing that you said that everything that is going out there is not worth putting your mind into. But it is not like that. I cannot be like that. I
Mm-hmm.
have to do something about it. So why he is like that? What is motivating him to be like that? And then after listening to him, William also got motivated and requested him to get assigned on the case for more days till the time the case
Yeah.
got solved.
You know,
So
you like when we see the second part of Deadly Sin, the sloth, where a guy he was in drug overdose for 1 year, who was lying there half dead. So there I felt like this is a golden opportunity where we could establish fear and uh, darkness in the story, but uh, the opportunity got wasted. The only fear was established when they had jump scare, where the guy suddenly he wakes up and he's like moving here and there. So it is an amazing moment where you can establish how this person only I think only one sin part uh, they should have targeted in one sin part, and they could have given a lot of depth to it. So I think they should have used sloth part as establishing the main depth of the movie. But I don't know, like uh, you remember the sloth part went. It had like very less screen time. The lust, the greed, they just came and went.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Means lust, they should have
lust.
showed that particular scene.
You know what? Lust was used as a B-roll of the movie. I'm like, oh, this is the main movie title, Seven Sins, right? Seven. So you could have focused on every sin, like you could have given like 10 minutes or 15 minutes each. But I felt kind of bad. They used lust part as a B-roll
You
property.
know, you know what I think?
Yeah,
You know what we should do?
yeah.
We'll make a series called Seven Deadly Sins, but based on the geography that we live in, based
Okay, okay.
kind of scenarios, right?
We could try.
All
We
the
could try.
we will do it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just and we'll divide it on episodes. And I guess India is a very great place where we have so many aspects to play with, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
make the Seven Deadly Sins where we can put. I just cannot say those on screen. Obviously, I'm
Yeah.
going to use them on screen.
Yes,
But yeah,
yes.
that would be great to implement.
Hopefully, when this part will be ready be to be streaming, I don't think it'll be available to stream on YouTube, of course, because you know, like we think in a dark manner. So obviously, I don't think this will
Yeah.
be very good for
But
streaming. Yeah,
it would be amazing,
yeah.
you have this one guy who is never revealed, but all the sins are being revealed at the end of the episodes,
Yes.
and they are all happening in different cities in India, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the cities where people are just not even caring about anything, right? A
Mm-hmm.
person who is bothered by stuff, anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anything, and then he just one day decides to, and he reads, and that is the problem. And then these two
Mm-hmm.
detectives came along and like us and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
started dissecting the collecting the pieces that like we are doing, whatever
Yes.
the shit he will be making. And then yeah, man, I believe that we should make it.
Yes,
we, we,
yes.
we, we, sh- we should do it, yeah, actually, because I
Imagine,
guess
yeah.
yeah.
Just imagine if the criminal, the John, would have not surrendered himself. What do you think the story would have taken place? Like after the lust part, after the lust part only, right? He surrenders himself. Uh, what do you think? Like envy and the wrath, envy and the wrath would taken place if he didn't surrender. Like
It's just till so far his motivation was to end his life when
hmm
all the seven deadly sins are finished.
hmm
That was his motivation. So if you say that he he won't surrender himself after 5 sins. So it's just he has completed the sixth one. So
Hmm.
he had no motivation left
Hmm.
but to implement the seventh one, right? So it's just if I heard somewhere is that to kill a person, you need to kill their motivation.
Hmm. Hmm.
The person will die
Yes, yes.
eventually. So without the motivation, there is no point of living,
Yeah.
and that is what he felt. It's
I,
just
yeah.
that is how I think that he knew that after this he wouldn't be having anything in his life,
Hmm.
and that is also a question why,
Hmm.
right? Why is that?
Yeah.
Before that he was not living a life. Before that what he was doing. I want to know the cases when they first time went to his place and
Hmm.
he started shooting at them on the basis of what they decided to go to his place, right? I guess there were some cases over him. I just want to know about it. What is it?
Actually,
What
like,
do you think? Yeah, what do you think?
yeah, firstly, like, okay, before going to this, I want to say something. Firstly, I want to know that uh, how was John a person? Like, how was he in person, and how was he before all this, like, influenced? I want to know that before his mind turned in a dark way, where he made up a mind that he wants to commit this seven sins. How was he before? Like, what made him to do this, and what influences he'd gone through, so that he took this decision. I know, like, uh, there will be a certain thing in his life which triggered him to come to this decisions. If that decisions would have been, like, exposed in the movie, or like shown in the movie, uh, we could connect to John more, like, yeah. So that's what I feel. And yeah, if John would have not surrendered himself in this, in the after the fifth sin, uh, maybe he could have committed two more crimes, and he could have, like, just shot himself, or like, whatever. Like, maybe we the 11 drafts what David Fincher had, there might be a draft where what we're talking about, they had answer to it. I guess. I guess.
It's just
Because
not.
yeah, because if we just want to give our clarification, what could go after fifth sin, what could John do, for that, like, we should be knowing we should be knowing something about John's backstory, like what could potentially he could commit, uh, what he might perform next. So we were just out of moves, like we didn't know, like,
You know what I believe, what I
yeah,
think
yeah.
could have happened. Uh, they obviously they never knew about the guy, but obviously they were able to find out the what there there could have been an element where they were able to find out who John is.
Hmm.
Imagine if
Hmm.
there is some kind of document, and based on that vague document that they got, they were able to figure out where he was from,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And where his parents might be. And he is actually going back to commit the rest of the two sins on his parents.
Okay,
One
but
was,
but
yeah,
why do you think so that he'll go back to commit sins on his
because
parent?
that could have been one of the, because
Hmm.
till the fifth, till there could have an element, till in the story they never told about the backstory of the guy, right? So we
Okay.
can presume that if both the detectives got
Uh,
some kind of vague information about him that
yeah.
they were able to figure out through a document or anything, right? Just like they figured out where he lives, right?
Hmm.
They were able to find out some kind of document in his house, because when he actually surrendered himself, there was no record about him. But
Hmm.
imagine if there was a record about him, and they were able to find out, like, let's go back to his place, and there he is going to commit the two sins, and maybe there would have been much more information that they were able to find out at his place
Hmm.
where he is. You remember he said, William said that there are 2,000 notebooks. Even 50 men every 24 hours they start reading it. It will take 2 months.
Hmm.
What are in those 2,000 notebooks?
Yeah,
His
yeah.
childhood, his fucking childhood, where he's keep on telling what kind of abuse he felt,
Hmm.
right? And in his family, and envy about his mother that she never did anything about him to
Hmm.
stop all those sins that his father was doing on John, and wrath is something he's going to do on his father
Yeah, the ultimate
because all the
shootout.
yeah, because
Yeah.
the all the sins that was committed over him. So
Hmm.
that kind of that in that way also story would have implemented. The movie could have stretched to 3.5 hours, but it would have been worth it. I'm not saying it's not worth it right now. I'm just
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
it could have been one of the part where we
It
have
it
much more
it
information
could
about
it could
John.
be a bonus part of the movie, like extended part of
So
something like that. We
yeah,
you know what? I wrote that we need David Fincher cut because obviously like I could say with my heart out, this might not be David Fincher's cut. This might be the production cut. So usually you remember when Justice League was made, uh, the production house decided that this movie will be this short or this will be presented this way. But after getting backlashed, Zack Snyder made his own version, like Zack Snyder's version, where we got like to see what the depth of the story, what was removed from the main movie. So if I know, like if David Fincher had his own story and more idea, uh, hopefully like we have he might be having his own like version of the movie, which will make more sense if we watch it. Like yeah, that's what.
and also, when Tracy, then they said that Tracy's head is in the box. We never felt anything about that, right?
Yeah, that's what. That's
So
what.
if that was supposed to happen,
Yeah.
if the same sin would have happened on John's parents, like the
Hmm.
version that I'm telling about, the feeling would have remained same,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
there would have been a more understandable sin. Like
Hmm.
why would John will decide to kill somebody's wife, right?
Yes, yes.
Why? But deciding killing his own parents because he had a bad past,
Hmm.
that his mother never did anything to stop his father, and his father never stopped beating him and his mother, right? It would
Hmm.
have been much more established thought to it.
Hmm.
That is what I feel. Right? Killing Tracy, what established? Just
Yeah. You know
right.
you know what, now you told this. Now I just have a quick recap that what Tracy meant in this movie. Tracy was introduced in the first as David's wife for like a moment to introduce, yeah, they both are in a relationship. I mean they're wife and husband. And after a few minutes, when she invites Morgan Freeman's character to his house. They have conversations like how what was going through and all.
How
Then
much William was laughing, you remember? I was
yeah,
like, why this guy is laughing
yeah,
so
yeah.
much?
You know what? This is the first time in my whole life I saw David Morgan laughing. I
Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman.
So,
I never saw Morgan Freeman laughing. Seriously, this would sound strange, but
that was kind of
yeah,
breaking his character at that
yeah.
particular moment.
He
That is what I felt.
you
Like
you
he's
you
laughing so much.
you know what? He was looking so funny. Like I paused my screen. I went back. I saw this again and again. Like why does he look so funny? But yeah, like second time, that what do you say? Tracy like. she kind of breaks her ice with William, like asking about him, like what's in his life, what went through. And third time we just see that David, he comes from a case home where they discuss about something. Then Morgan Freeman and character and Tracy, she tells about his pregnancy. I think only the four times she was introduced in the screen, and the most screen time she had only when they introduced that she was pregnant. So I was expecting that we will get to see more of Tracy, but yeah, we, the only part where we could see Tracy is at the end.
Yeah, and she was not even we didn't see it. But yeah, there obviously there was no weight. We would have wanted weight.
Yeah,
Just like in True Detective. I know we are comparing it to True Detective too much, but yeah, it is like a similar
I
thing
mean,
because they
like
were
it
two
had the
detectives
same
there. Yeah,
vibe. See, it had the
yeah,
same
yeah.
vibe because True Detective, one guy was very serious and one guy was very lustful, very psycho based character. Even this Morgan Freeman was very calm, very
They have
that's
their characterization.
similars. Yeah.
It's just, even in True Detective season one, Woody's wife,
Mm-hmm.
right, Maggie,
Yeah, yeah.
has a story, right?
Yes,
She
yes.
has a weight on screen.
Yes,
Like
yes.
you could see
She
that.
she actually
And
played a very great character because if
yeah,
I mean the character was introduced properly, like uh
yeah. So
yeah.
Tracy could have been like that, not being unfaithful, but increasing the screen time in a very different way. Like
Hmm.
she is trying to understand what uh, her husband is going through,
Yeah.
right? I was seeing in behind the
I
scenes.
mean like not even like increase of screen time, increase the depth of the character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
screen time eventually is going to help that
Yes,
because
yes.
you have to for it.
Yeah.
And I saw in the behind the scenes where they were talking about their characters. So Gwyneth said, the other person who played the role of
MJ.
Tracy, that, yeah. So she, Pepper Potts. People would know with Pepper Potts, yeah.
Yeah.
So that she said, like, Tracy is a person who, she was explaining her character, that Tracy is a person who loves her husband, and she had to, and her husband somehow managed to change her mind to come to the city because she never wanted to come to the city. It's just like she is more like a cow who is I'm not disrespecting the gods. Literally, I'm not disrespecting any of it. I'm just saying uh, in a way that she is influenced so easily, right? And she has no opinion to it.
I mean like you could say as a pet.
No, no, that would be much more disrespectful. I said cow because it is
Huh.
it is not like a it is much more respected. It's
Got it.
just
Got
a
it.
way.
Got it.
You understanding what I'm
Yeah,
saying,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just she had no opinion. She
Hmm.
never had. She's so, if she would have told Mills that she is pregnant, Mills would have given up on the case. You know,
Yeah.
he would have spent timing with her,
Yeah.
and that way she would
I
have
mean,
still alive.
yeah, I mean, like, I still don't get the point. Why did she didn't tell her husband that they were, I mean, like, she was pregnant. Like, probably obviously, David, uh, like he could become a good father. Like, we you see that, right? When he comes to his house, he meets his pets, the dogs, very friendly way.
Yeah, where are the kids? Where
Where
are
are
the
the
kids? He
kids?
asked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't see any like fault in Brad Pitt's character. He would have been a good father, but I have no idea why she was kind of hesitating to tell her husband. And like
She was
I don't
becoming
know.
naive, she was
Yeah.
becoming naive, telling a person, she was telling William, okay, she wanted somebody to talk to who is living in the city, but it is not enough
Hmm.
to just start telling that big secret who Mills didn't know for that quite long till the movie ended and when his wife died.
Yeah. You
They
know,
will,
you,
you know,
I would sound little suspicious, but when Tracy Mills calls Morgan Freeman's character that I won't talk to you, I felt that they would have a sort of chemistry between them, but it turned out to be something else.
father-daughter relationship, I would say.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So, because, and it's quite good that you haven't said that she's hot, man.
I mean,
So
like,
far,
she was good, but that's what. If she had more screen time, we could see more of her. Like, obviously, uh, the moment she came on the screen, she was glowing like angel. But obviously, like, if she had more screen time, uh, I would have kept in her mind for a longer time, and I could tell good things about her.
you know,
Yeah.
it just reminded me. I was just scrolling through Instagram and I just saw there was this one page called "Fucking Awesome Movies," something like that. So
Who
there,
keeps these names?
Sui,
Sydney
that,
Sweeney.
yeah,
Yeah,
she was posting her pictures and saying sorry for having good tits.
I remember. I remember. I've seen that. She she's very like open-minded and very like she has a good humor, dude. Like
Yeah,
she even played good character in Euphoria. Like okay, we'll just
yeah. So, yeah, man, and actually they mentioned about Mind Camp.
hmm
Yeah, Camp, yeah, that is the pronunciation. So, I told you about this. I watched that series called Evil on Trial, right?
yeah, totally.
So, I even downloaded this book. I wanted to read this book. How, why they mentioned this, because Hitler was able to change people's mind. I told you, na, that 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 is what happened with John too, right?
hmm
To he was obviously influenced by something,
hmm
and it was totally missing in the whole.
Yeah.
What was it? Right? What was it? In True Detective season one, the guy was the killer. I don't remember his name.
Green something.
Uh, no, his real name was. He was actually influenced by his father,
The
who
end
started the.
at the end he reveals
Yeah,
right
yeah,
that he was a
yeah,
painter
yeah.
or something. No.
No, he used to do so many jobs. It's
Yeah.
just his father used to do the same thing, and then he started doing the same thing,
Hmm
right? So there was this connection was there, right? But here the whole motivation was missing.
hmm
So now I just see that seven was a blunt joint. You just smoke it and you just go like that.
ha.
But but you gotta understand that there has to have some tobacco in the joint so that the people
Can
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 understand
can
where
you
they are
can
going.
you can
People,
you can you like not go in detail because this video might get demonetized.
I'm just
Yeah,
comparing two
yeah.
aspects. That's it. So,
Here we see yellow dollar incoming, guys. That's it.
so,
Yeah.
so yeah, man. It was. So I just want to now. I'm literally motivated to make something like that in a series way, and then every episode has this story where the killing is happening,
Hmm
and it is just ruthless. I want to show that, they were actually not showing the scenes properly, right? They
Yeah.
were not showing the bodies
They 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 were kind of used. They kind of used it like as a B-roll. They didn't
yeah.
establish it properly. But one thing I need to appreciate that whatever the dead sequence what they showed, they had good prosthetics and good makeup. It looks so
Mhm.
real.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
That fat guy.
yeah.
Shit.
When the fat guy they showed that he died of excess eating. Uh, there I felt, oh yes, this is my childhood. You remember like everyone in the childhood they had some sort of imagination. If you eat more, your stomach will fill and burst. So So it kind of triggered my inner childhood person. Like he was like, oh yes, if you eat more, you're gonna end up getting busted. So something fun, like, yeah,
This can be actually a very terrifying sequence, and people are like getting scary when that sequence is coming on screen.
yeah,
There are, how amazing director David Fincher is. Imagine if he would have tried all that
yeah.
at that time. Our minds would have been blown.
We could
Showing
he yeah.
every sin actually happening.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
lust.
I
Oh
would,
shit, man.
I would be there. Like, I would love to see all the sins committing on real time. Like, a guy eating his food, like eating, and suddenly you see his stomach things popped out, and he just collapsed. I would pay to watch this.
Actually, I want to see how David Fincher would have used his direction to
Yeah.
show all that, right? It, how John was describing that Tracy was begging him to not to kill her
Mhm.
because she's pregnant and all. I want to see that so that we could have feel that
Yeah.
anger, that
I
how
mean,
ruthless he is.
just by narrative, it didn't feel the depth. They should have been a small, slightly visual, like that she is begging that please don't kill. Like, there should have been a small, like, 10 seconds or 20 seconds visual where she's on kneel and she's doing it. There we could have connected more when her head was shown in the movie, but that's what, like, potentially got lost. But yeah, Tracy got wasted. But Tracy got wasted in the movie, but Tracy is gonna stay in my heart.
Here we go again. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, man. I guess I'm going to start writing on this.
Yeah.
Literally, man, I want to just start writing, and what we can do actually.
Hmm.
Well, movie was good enough,
Yeah.
and what I think is just what we should do. Actually, we should pick the real happened cases, right?
Hmm.
Real happened cases that happen. When in 2006, 2007, there were cases like Arushi, and there was this one more case where a guy used to eat kids.
Hmm.
He used to abduct them, kidnap them, and then he used to get their flesh. And these kind of cases where cannibalism was
Hmm.
introduced, right? And there was one more series uh, on Netflix. I don't remember the name. So there also cannibalism was there. It means police said about the
Okay. Okay.
guy.
Okay.
Whether it is proved or not, I'm not sure. So these kind of cases we actually can pick, right? And these
Hmm.
are the seven deadly sins that were all happened,
Hmm.
uh, committed by same person, and then we can say they are because true events will make will people feel more relatable to
True. True. True.
the story, right? Because
I've
something like that
actually
happened, something like that.
I have actually seen that if you want to create fear or you want to create an attention while presenting a movie, just add based on true events. People will be motivated to watch it, and they will appreciate you because obviously they would be interested to know, oh yeah, this happened in real life, so let me see what was going through when this was getting committed. So I kind of seen this. I don't remember now, but uh, I've seen a director's interview where he told this point. I have no idea where I saw this, but and like some director, I don't know his name, but he told that sometimes we just add title where we just show it based on true events so that people get motivated to watch this piece of content, and it just boosts the sales of the movie. Then yeah, then I kind of felt, oh yes, this there's other way to make movies as well. So yeah.
Well, it is just a marketing strategy, but
Yeah.
my idea is to actually. study those real cases
Hmm.
that happened out there,
Yeah.
and then using those stories and implementing them and merging them to with your story
Hmm.
to say like whatever the worst seven cases that ever happened in India, murder
Hmm.
cases that ever happened in India, or not just the seven, but so many cases we have to read out because there are seven deadly sins. So
Yeah.
we have to actually classify, means divide them on the basis of the sin that they come under
Yeah.
to it. And yeah, I guess
we
our
can
India is
we
not.
can we can actually pack
Uh,
so whenever we make this content we could package it as we could market it or package it as series of seven deadly sins, not seven deadly sins in one packet. We could just make
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
means or seven different episodes are there where
Yeah.
we are showing them what actually happened, or maybe there could be 10 episodes or 11. People are expecting like it's seven deadly sins, there should be
Yeah.
seven episodes, but no, that is the
every
thing.
Everyone will be rooting for the seventh episode. Yes, now the series can end, and now we know that what who committed this. They'll be rooting for this, but then here you go, one more episode. So that would be like,
Or maybe we can go in a way like first sin happened, second sin happened, and then we are going back to see what happened,
hmm,
and imagine there are 10 episodes. So in ninth episode, we are actually revealing who the person who is committing all those crimes,
or else,
what happened in his past,
or
what
else,
happened.
or else, you know what? Or else, I have one more thing. We could show every sins committed in the first episode, and every episode has prequel to the sins.
Okay,
Yeah,
we have to see how the story lead to it.
yeah,
But yeah, there are many different ways to implement it. But yeah, there has to have backstories.
yes,
People should feel
a strong
what the
backstory.
characters are feeling. Yeah, because imagine Brad Pitt. I wonder, the kind of personality we have seen of Brad Pitt, bored guy, handsome guy, cool, right? But if he would have made a series of Seven Deadly Sins with
Hmm.
Morgan Freeman, it would have changed his personality totally,
Yeah.
totally changed his personality. Matthew McConaughey
Hmm.
mentioned that I started doing romantic comedies for me to doing something like that. The kind of acting that he did in Dallas Buyers Club, the kind of performance that he did in True Detective season
Hmm.
one. It was something breaking himself because before that he was kind of in a different genre. You know, so it would have made Brad Pitt's personality different.
Hmm.
Like,
No,
you know,
not as a heroic personality, but as an actor, kind of.
as a shady person,
Uh,
like, and
yeah.
yeah, man.
That's
That
what.
why that's why it
Yeah.
was for me. It was a hard time to accept him in that kind of
Same, same.
situation. It was just
I,
bad.
I told you the starting that uh,
Mm.
seeing Brad Pitt doesn't give you any feeling of fear, doesn't give you feeling of dark thing, because Brad Pitt has, when you see in real life, Brad Pitt has a personality where he uh, more of positive side. So it it took me some time to really get to used to Brad Pitt's character, because that's what, like, he doesn't showcase himself as the way he was presented in the movie. But yeah, because that's what he was presented in the movie, and like that's how he carries himself in the real world. So yeah.
You know, I think whatever, man, whatever. I guess we can unless I make something out of it.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to actually do something about it because it cannot put on hold.
Hmm.
This is what it is. It cannot put on hold, and it can be so dark enough.
Yeah.
It can be so dark enough. We can we can take we can actually hire so many writers who can help us to like
Hmm.
implement every single episode, right? And we don't need to add so much action into it. We
Yeah,
just need to
yeah.
make it more darker, right?
Mostly like mind games. Yeah.
And we can actually connect it to a little, you know what? When they visited his place,
Hmm.
there is cross, what they were trying to show, a demonic way of thinking.
Hmm.
How,
Yeah.
that kind of vibe they were trying to give. I don't know, I was not feeling it. I'm just saying, right?
True,
So
true.
that kind of element we can also show.
Hmm.
It is not actually there, but people should feel it.
Yeah.
Like, in True Detective season 1, into Detective even season 4, we always I watched 4 also, but even in season 1 you would have felt it, like there is something demonic is going on. You always feel that way.
Yeah.
The kind of visions Matthew was having, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right, they
You
are
you
showing
you
church
you know
and
what? You become part of his world.
yeah. So
So yeah.
you think in a superstitious way, like something superstitious, something is going on there.
Hmm. Hmm.
Even in True Detective season 4, when I started watching it, I felt like something uh, demonic, superstitious, something is going on, but it was never that.
Hmm.
But if you want to show it, people should feel it. I was feeling it, right?
Yeah.
And the same kind of thing they wanted to do that when they were showing his place. You remember, that hand in the jar,
Hmm. Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
In the jar, the hand and the cross, how the kind of room he was in,
Yeah.
John's place. So to show like he's kind of demon,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
but that demonic vibe, superstitious demonic vibe that was trying to deliver, I was not feeling it.
Yeah.
It should have to
So
be
that's
there.
what, like, if you discuss in a short form, in a short way, that the things what should have make a bang in audience mind, they showed it very quickly. They didn't establish. They didn't have any tail of it. They just showed the body of it, but eventually the tail should be there to slowly gradually come to that place where you hit this and audience get to the place where the director wants to take. But obviously that thing wasn't introduced. But you know
You
what,
know,
yeah. So when we see this movie, uh, you have seen me like I've been telling from a long time, like this is why I kind of like psychological movies, because they just not only play with the characters, they even play with the minds of the viewers who's watching the movie. It's not only a 2 hours movie. it it's gonna last with the viewers for a little long time in their life. So if for example, if True Detective, when I watched it for the first time, uh, technically the True Detective season 1 ended in like 7 or 8 hours. But after 8 hours, the piece and the story was going through my mind for at least 2 or 3 days, that what could be there, because because obviously we don't have the life what was presented in the season, and nor me or you live the same life, or we don't deal with dark stuff. So like we were teleported to a world where a character was living, and we were invested in this world. So when the world's character was story ended, we were we were not disconnected. We were living in the world, and slowly the darkness faded through our mind, because we came to a reality. We closed watching the series and we started doing our work. So so this is why I kind of like somewhere I kind of like stuff where it's psychological, because it it's not only like 2 hours of watching. After watching, you have impact on your real life too. So this kind of amazing.
yeah, yeah, man. Obviously, psychology, how it works, man.
Yeah.
And with these kind of stories, what I said, detective, it takes time to detective to solve these kind of cases,
Hmm.
especially when it is so connected to a psycho person, right? It will take you time to solve it. You are just collecting pieces. People should feel that
Yeah,
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 pieces are getting collected,
yeah.
right?
They should
What
actually
is
feel
happening?
does they should actually feel that there is more superior than these two characters. Like there's one like very big official, very supervisor that he's more bigger than these two cops. So that's
And
when yeah,
you
yeah,
cannot expect these kind of from these kind of stories that there is going to be a boom in that story that is going to make the
yes,
audience illuminated. Oh yeah, oh shit.
yeah, yeah,
No, the story is going to go that way and it is going to go down, and
yes,
it should take the audience down.
yeah, yeah,
It is like a bus ride on Indian roads in a village. It should be like that, you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
And so you should not like, there is one particular element that is making people like, oh shit. They should be like, oh shit, we just don't want to see it. They
yeah,
should
yeah,
be like that, right?
yeah,
So you should be keep on pushing the audience down, hitting their psychology
yeah.
in a way that
You
they are
know,
so
you know,
depressed about it.
from this, I remember one quote from Mr. Alfred Hitchcock that he quoted this make audience suffer so that when the right moment comes, it bangs on the right time. So suffering of audience wasn't there in this.
Yeah, obviously it was missing.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it was we respect David Fincher. David Fincher is an astonishing director, and
Yes.
obviously we want to see how he makes the movies, how he thinks about the movies, and we want
Hmm.
to talk to him about that too. It's just it was our perspective towards Seven, right? And our way of looking at it. And whatever he did was amazing, because if you have to implement this kind of story into a movie, it was
Hmm.
perfect. It was perfect. It is just our demand to get to know the story more. It
Hmm.
is our demand. But
Yes.
but how David Fincher actually implemented the ideas, what needed to be done, no question about that. You
Yes.
cannot argue about it.
So what's the latest David Fincher movie? Like the last movie he made?
I have to check. David Fincher. Well, the movies that I have watched, David Fincher, there are a lot of movies that I have watched.
He has actually
But
made a
the
lot of
latest,
movies.
really, yeah, obviously, he has made so many movies. And his movies are Fight Club 7, Killer, Gone Girl. I have watched Gone Girl, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Zodiac. Dude, we gonna talk about these movies. Social Network, I have watched. Curious Case of Benjamin Button, obviously we
Obviously.
have.
That's like the first
Uh,
movie which got me introduced to David Fincher's
and Brad
filmography.
Pitt for you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, for me.
Zodiac. The Game, I want to see. The poster looks interesting, The Game. But you should watch Gone Girl, man. We're gonna talk about the movie called Gone Girl. Shit, man. Ben Affleck is there. Shit.
So recently what he made is The Killer,
Yeah, 2023, I guess. Yeah.
2023 Killer. Nice.
David Fassbender, I guess. That is the name of the person. The
A-
cast.
Alien 3 7. Okay.
Fassbender.
7 was his
Michael
7
Fassbender. Michael Fassbender.
7 was his second movie like he made it.
Oh, man. It was his second movie.
Second
Shit.
movie, yeah. And first movie was Alien 3.
Alien 3, yeah.
Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, Gone Girl, Mang the Killer. I mean, he has like good filmography. The Social Network. Oh, okay. Panic Room. Yeah, this. this director, he plays with mind. That thing I've realized.
It's just after Alfred Hitchcock died, he was divided into directors, and the biggest part of his mind went into Stanley Kubrick, and then after that, it was divided into other directors. I just
Yeah,
felt this way
yeah.
just now only.
I've actually seen like in his filmography that he had he had made something called Hitchcock Truffat, or like something music.
Yeah, dude, we can scroll through the whole day. It was just keep on going. I guess we should give audience some rest now
Yeah, yeah,
because we actually dig deep so much this
yeah,
time.
yeah. I
Great,
kind of I
man.
kind of want to talk about Hitchcock's movie, like his other movies as well. Let's do it in some further episodes.
Yeah. Audience, let us know. Let
Yes.
us know. We are here to, and if you have watched the episode till so far, you can comment seven.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like,
Yes.
yeah, you can comment seven.
Yes.
And
And for the audience, I just need to ask something. That do we randomly choose a movie and discuss about it, or do you want a director series movie that we choose a director and we talk about his work? Obviously, we won't be going in order. It for example, like we talk about Christopher Nolan, we won't like making 12 episodes of his movie, of his filmography. Uh,
consecutively, right?
yeah, consequently, we'll be making it, but not as dedicatedly to it. But if you wanted, you can just let us know. We'll try it so that we so
Guys, like and subscribe.
yeah. So yeah, in a way, when we'll get to know that uh, good movies, like obviously, like you guys know that we could have not watched so many movies, but obviously, if you give us recommendation, we'll look at it and we'll see that if it's fine, that worth talking to it. So we'll just go with your recommendation. You can just tell us which
Yeah.
directors should we cover next, and what things can be uh, discussed in this further episodes. And yeah,
And guys, share it with your friends who like to watch movies. Maybe after listening to us,
yeah,
they would like to watch the movies that you guys might be recommending them to,
yeah.
that they are not watching.
Share
So yeah.
share this episode with all the psychopaths you in your real life, and
Mhm.
yeah, just tell them that there is someone who recognize you, not as a in a bad way, but we talk about them.
About the movies they like.
Yeah, of the movies they like.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So yeah, guys, like, subscribe, and share, and have fun watching movies, obviously.
yeah,
And let
and
us know.
and yeah, don't commit sins. Watch this and spread it across your friends, families, or your friends, like your close ones. Yeah. And if,
And
if,
guys,
if you
yeah,
if you don't share this video to your friends, families, so that is where you commit your eighth sin.
eight
So
deadly sins.
eight deadly sins. So try avoiding this sin and share it so that you'll be one sin. Uh, you'll be deducted one sin from your whole lifetime. So
All
yeah.
right, guys, have fun. We are the Jaftafs, and
Yes.
thank you for watching the Jaftaf show. We will be keep on coming. Have fun
Yes.
later. And this is it from my side, guys.
Yeah, this is all we could say, and yeah, just tell us how do you like this episode and what can be improved. And yes, we are the Jaftafs, and we are signing off. And bye.
Have fun. Bye bye.